Malaysia was once overlooked. Today, it is becoming a rich, high-income country. Malaysia sits at one of the most important trade crossroads on Earth. Long before independence, trade shaped Malaysia's future. Independence brought responsibility and opportunity. Manufacturing became Malaysia's growth engine. Today, Malaysia looks very different. Malaysia's tech journey began quietly, inside factories like these. Exports became Malaysia's engine of steady growth. Roads, ports, and power laid the foundation for prosperity. Education quietly prepared Malaysia for its next leap.
Growth changed daily life for millions.
Malaysia set its sights on a digital future. Global tech giants began building here. Malaysia wants more than manufacturing. It wants innovation. Stability made Malaysia attractive. Malaysia isn't chasing wealth anymore. It's creating it. Growth slowed, not because Malaysia failed, but because the game changed. Productivity, not effort, became the real challenge. Innovation became the missing piece. Institutions began to change, slowly, deliberately.
Oil funded growth, but couldn't define the future.
Diversification became a necessity, not a choice.
Investors weren't just visiting, they were committing.
Talent followed opportunity and stayed.
Growth improved more than numbers, it improved lives.
Malaysia's story isn't finished. It's just entering its strongest chapter.
A new generation chose to build, not wait.
Efficiency replaced scale as the new advantage.
Value moved from factories to ideas.
Malaysia became the bridge between markets. Malaysia didn't rush, it built. And now, it's arriving. Growth now meant competing with the world.
Cheaper labor wasn't enough anymore.
Stability became a competitive advantage. Growth now had to be sustainable. Every success brought new responsibilities. Rapid growth came with real costs. Trust in systems mattered as much as growth.
The future was being planned carefully.
This phase focuses on sustainable infrastructure and integration across all sectors.
Escaping the trap required reinvention.
Malaysia's rise is real, but it must be protected. Growth mattered only if it reached everyone. Prosperity slowly spread beyond city limits. Development reached every corner of the nation. Opportunity slowly became more accessible. Wealth meant nothing without unity.
The future began in classrooms.
Skills became the new currency.
Health became a foundation of productivity.
Demographics worked in Malaysia's favor. The window of opportunity won't stay open forever.
Growth meant learning again and again.
Prosperity grew when everyone participated.
Productivity became a national conversation. Safety nets protected momentum during hard times.
In the end, Malaysia's greatest asset was its people.
Malaysia was no longer just a location. It was a brand. Culture became influence. Tourism became more than travel. It became growth. Leadership didn't need dominance, only trust.
Malaysia didn't just grow richer, it grew more confident.
Leadership now meant creating the future.
Ideas replaced raw materials as the main export.
Automation became a tool, not a threat. Trust became digital and essential. Resilience became strategy. The future required preparation, not reaction. Reliability became a competitive edge.
Stability attracted long-term capital.
Resilience wasn't only economic, it was social. Malaysia didn't predict the future, it prepared for it. Success began to mean more than numbers.
The trap didn't disappear. Malaysia climbed out.
Wealth lasts when institutions work.
Malaysia was no longer catching up. It had arrived.
Being rich wasn't just about money. It was about stability, dignity, and choice.
This time, the growth was real and measurable.
Growth changed how people lived, not just how they earned.
Engines. Malaysia's path offered lessons, not shortcuts. Malaysia didn't rush, it stayed consistent. Stability wasn't flashy, but it worked.
Every breakthrough started with people.
Trade connected Malaysia to opportunity. Progress came from balance, not extremes. Crises didn't stop progress, they tested it. Experience became policy strength.
Trust became Malaysia's strongest currency.
Belief followed results.
The goal wasn't wealth, it was permanence.
Malaysia wasn't perfect, but it was prepared.
Malaysia didn't get rich by chance. It built, waited, adapted, and endured.
Every journey ends with reflection.
The next chapter belongs to a new generation.
Learning never stopped, it evolved. Confidence unlocked creativity. Progress continued without losing balance. Others began to look, not to copy, but to learn.
Confidence no longer needed applause.
Strong systems outlived individual moments. Wealth finally served a purpose beyond itself. The transformation was complete.
Prosperity became normal.
Respect followed consistency.
There was no finish line, only direction.
So why did Malaysia become rich?
Because it chose patience over panic, systems over shortcuts, and people over numbers.
Time kept moving. Malaysia moved with it.
Prosperity no longer stood out. It blended in. There was no rush anymore, only direction. Strong systems didn't announce themselves, they simply worked. Progress moved forward, one generation at a time. Reputation settled in and stayed. Growth didn't announce itself. It accumulated.
Security stopped being a concern and became an assumption.
Decisions were made for decades, not headlines.
Malaysia became a model, not a miracle.
Pride no longer needed volume.
Even then, Malaysia was still becoming. The question no longer needed an answer. Only the work remained.